Alright, can I switch around? Yes, we can do that. Arts dancing shoes. They're much better than the ones you already had. You had? Very good. Daniel, conspirators, foil. Nice. Eliana, could you use that? Yes, you can use that. Morgan. She could use that, but I'm not sure. +3 defense is also not bad. Maybe leave it like that. Stan, I think you have a light helmet. Maybe you should wear this one. It's a heavy one. Yeah. It's a Kunari thickened cap, but he should wear heavy helmet because everything else he wears is heavy. Yeah. Roland, he doesn't wear any helmet. Oh, let's give him this. Okay. That's that. Alright, so let's talk to Morrigan. Oh, actually I forgot about this runes, but I don't have... Okay, I have some money, but I think not enough to actually buy new runes for anything. But I have +2 electricity damage on my current weapon, so that is good. Wait a second. There you are.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Did you grow up in the Kokari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You could probe me anytime if you wanted to.
Beg pardon then while I jump for joy. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained unnoticed?
For the most part. Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring. That sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
I have no idea. I'm not human.
Do not speak to me of trivialities. Your culture is not so entirely different. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes, how to eat at a table, how to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Well, I'm glad it worked out this way at least.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Maybe we can still talk a bit more about other things.
Yes?
So life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
But you eventually left?
Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
Well, I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Oh, but you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
I guess those lessons made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
I mean, we got a lot of approval from her now. We are at plus 17. Do you have anything else to say?
Yes,
I'd like to ask you something.
if you must.
Is Flemeth really what you see? No, actually I'll ask a second first. Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
And you are cute when you are evasive.
Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we, too.
Okay.
My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
You really had no trouble with them?
I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them, once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed.
Of
And then the
course.
true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Surely more would have followed.
Sometimes. Eventually. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Don't you... what should I ask? So, what exactly is an apostate? I mean, I ask you, but I know it's a mage that's running from any circle of magi from the Templars.
You do not know? The Zealots use that word for any magic they do not control. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates, and apostates could become Maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true, still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
Well, if I were a mage, I might think the same.
Thank you for small favors, then, at the very least. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
Alright, but I still have one question to ask. Sorry.
Yes?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
There was this question left. Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing.
It
Tell
was
me,
fun, I had to ask that.
how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
Actually, I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Is it not true then?
No, quite true, but this part only. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife to another man?
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
She spoke to spirits or demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Even my people have heard of Cormac.
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
How is that Flemeth has survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one, And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
So do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
An interesting story. Thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
Well, my mother died a long time ago.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Alright. Skill acquired. She got one skill. Oh, inspired minor magic. Inspired by your leadership, this party member has gained a minor bonus to magic. It's probably because we have a little bit of good disposition with her. Yes. Plus 26. Interested. Nice. That is interesting. Interesting. Alright. Okay, so who can we actually get also more? I know that we can talk to Alistair still and to Liliana. Stan will be difficult, but let's try with Alistair.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
Very well, I will respect your word.
Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all.
I mean, I also don't want to become a Templar. I know that there's this specialization. I don't know where it is. It's not to be seen here, but I prefer to be Berserker and Champion instead. I think those will be good for my character.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
You said this Al Eamon raised you.
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Should I say this the last one to be funny? Really? That must have been tough for them.
Well, they were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too, and devout Andrastians to boot.
And these dogs sold you to the Chantry, I take it.
Oh, there you go, listening to me again. You'd think you'd have gotten past that already. I ended up in the Chantry, sure, but I didn't start there. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind.
Okay.
My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Al Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
If he was your father, do you know who it is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Al Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
And you think the Owl... No, are you sure that he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him. You'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Was there anything more you could tell me?
What do you need?
Are there any other things I can ask you?
Ask away.
Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
I thought Templars wore heavy plate mostly.
That's just in public. In private, we have these yellow and purple tunics, right? Much more comfortable.
Okay.
And you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight.
You had lots of these pillow fights, I take it.
Pillow fights? I mean, no, of course not. I meant sword fights. With rusty swords, dripping with acid. The kind that puts hair on your chest. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
You don't have to tell me then, I was just curious.
Then let's just get back to what we were doing. No offense, but I'd really rather not discuss it.
Alright, disapproves? Oh, come on, really? I was nice to you. Okay. If you don't want to. Let's see what Leliana has to say. God damn it. Stuck on the...
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
What would someone like you be doing in Lothering's Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
You know, beautiful, charming woman like yourself.
And there were no beautiful, charming women in the cloisters, you think? You would be wrong. There were many lovely young initiates in the Lothering cloister, all of them chaste and virtuous. It added to their mystique, because then they were forbidden, and forbidden fruit is the sweeter, no?
Can we go back to Lothering now? No. So those initiates can't have been more lovely than you.
Flatterer. I, however, did not take vows, and so perhaps I am not as enigmatic? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
Affirmed? What does that mean?
We affirm our belief in the Maker, in Andraste and the Chant, but other than that, there are no vows taken.
What did you do before that?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
Alright. I got +6. That's nice. We also at +26 now. And we got a skill for her. It's minor cunning. Inspired by your leadership, this party member has gained a minor bonus to cunning. Nice. Alright. I think we have talked to them, to a lot of them. Maybe a little bit to Roland.
Yes? What can I do for you?
Tell me about yourself, Roland.
Well, I've served
Okay,
in
no, we had
Kuzlan.
that already.
My father, I took great pride in serving the town. I am...
We already had that.
Yes? What can I do for
I
you?
want to ask you a question about the past.
Of course.
Nothing. Okay.
I'll be here when you do then.
Maybe about what we have...
Yes? What can I do for you?
About what happened?
Of course.
What happened in the at the castle?
Maker knows we were all caught by surprise. Hal had been on good terms with the family for years. Nobody suspected anything. The soldiers arrived in the morning as planned to march to battle, but they attacked us
I think
instead.
we already had this.
I tried so hard to save the castle and everyone...
I don't know if I can make his disposition get better. I mean, there is a disposition meter, so it should be possible. But maybe let's try in the future then. I think it's time to go on. Wait, can I go? I should have slept, right? I don't know. Should I? Well,
Of
we
course.
take Roland because I want to have him in the mages circle. Liliana as well. And I don't want to take Morrigan because I think if we go to the circle there will be mages. Maybe we can recruit someone. I will take Stan.
Yes.
Can I stay here for a moment? Yes, I can. I would like to take to sleep if it's possible. Can I not sleep somewhere? Not possible to sleep here? Or is it already counting as having slept? I hope so. Because I don't see anything here. Alright, Roland,
course.
Liliana, and Stan.
Yes.
And we'll go to Lake Kalenite Docks. Let's see if we actually run into someone in the meantime. Of course we do. Oh no, it's a cutscene. Alright.
I bring word, sire. There are demands from the Banorn that you step down from the Regency. They are said to be gathering their forces, as are your allies. It appears it will be civil war after all, despite the Darkspawn. Pity. I also have an interesting report. There seem to be Grey Wardens who survived Ostagar. How, I don't know. But they will act against you. I have arranged for a solution, with your leave.
The Antivan Crows send their regards. An assassin?
Against Grey Wardens, we will need the very best, sire.
And the most expensive.
Just get it done.
But we're also attacked by someone. By Blight Wolves. Alright, let's see if our new... Oh. They also have level up Stan and Roland, but we're gonna take them afterwards then. I have to remember to take off her swords after this fight. Stan. Then you go for this one. And Dominicos, you go for this one.
Just what you say.
Kill
Alright, this one is down. Now this one. Roland, are you... Maybe he just needs some help. His armor might be not that good, I don't know.
Now you die.
Okay, I think Roland is... Stan is down? For real? Okay. I didn't know there was something like that. I did not see that. You will need to take a potion. Right. And self, if you are attacked by a melee attack, use ability Shield Bash. If you're being attacked by a ranged attack, use activate modes Shield Cover. And self, any activate mode Precise Striking. For me as well, yeah.
My power is yours.
Gosh.
Get back, fiends! What should I do? Watch out!
Yeah, no worries. We can win this. But I'll need this here and this here. So you can take another potion now.
You have forced my hand!
And he's down. Alright, that's good.
Of course.
Chainmail, okay. Yeah, the reason why he got down was because I didn't see there was this big dude. Alright, Roland has a level up, strength, dexterity, willpower, and shield defense, yeah. You need that. Stan, strength, 2 points in strength, 1 in constitution. And you, yeah, bravery. Alright. Elf fruit. Interesting way.
It will be done.
Actually, let me take a look at those gifts that I have picked up. Let me see, where are those? Somewhere here. The Chant of Light on the bridge. For example, Liliana, I can give her the fat loot.
That's a wonderful thought.
Plus
I
50.
don't know what to say.
Nice. I wasn't expecting that, but that's nice. Qunari Prayers of the Dead.
I am impressed. My
Plus
thanks.
50. It's getting a little bit too much, isn't it? Roland, I don't know if I can probably not give you anything because you're the mod. Nice, but I like it. Alright, let's go on. Moderate strength. Yeah, he has a bonus to that. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Oh, that's the tower. So we would have to take that boat. There's a Templar as well, and it's also good that we didn't take a mage with us, because they would probably not like that. And there seems to be also some place. Alright, let's check it out then.